Hashtag we are Charlie Kirk. Murdered for being white. Murdered for being right. Say murdered for being white. Murdered for being white. Let me see that Tyler Robinson picture again. Now these glasses, because those glasses take away melanin. You know what I mean? So hold on, let me look at that Tyler Robinson. Huh. Must have some Creole in his family or something like that. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. I am Reese Waters and I'm troubled. I mean, how could I not be? Y'all saw it. Where y'all get that Jesus from? Where y'all get, is that the Hobby Lobby Jesus? Is that what that is? Why didn't he used to be in an emo band back in the day? That Jesus?
Welcome, my son. Your work is done. Come rest.
Why Jesus look like he played quarterback for Southwest Louisiana State? Why he look like, is that SEC Jesus? Is that who that is? Didn't that Jesus used to be a barista? Didn't he used to work at Starbucks off Third? I'm pretty sure that's that same Jesus right there. Here's a question for y'all. What's the need to have long hair Jesus if you're not going to abide by any of the other descriptors, any of the other context clues? Why don't you just give him a buzz cut? You know what I mean? Give him a rat tail. Ain't no need to give him. Why you gonna do that if you're not gonna do this? You know what I mean? That just don't make no sense. You know? Why Jesus look like he fresh out of Big Ten country? You know what I mean? That's Nebraska Jesus right there. That's who that is. And that's. Did you have to tell AI that that's the Jesus that you wanted in there with Charlie Kirk? You had to make sure he was in that heaven. We can't have him in the regular heaven. We got to make sure he's in specifically that heaven. And as wild and as problematic as that was, it's far from the only thing I've been seeing on the timeline. When speech is silenced with bullets, history is repeating itself. What do you think they talked about? The three of them. What do you think? You think they talked about the civil rights movement? Is that what you think? Yeah, Charlie Kirk told them where they went wrong at. Is that what you think it is? Yeah. The violence, the violence from the radical left. Is that what you think they discussed? Breaking, Charlie Kirk's memorial now has more people in attendance than MLK or JFK's funeral. Our greatest strength on the right is our unity, which sends a powerful message of what it means to be a cohesive group of patriotic Americans. Yeah, that's right. Nothing says unity like infighting about threatening the deceased and the days before he left. Yeah, that's people having to go and disavow that they were responsible. That sounds pretty unified. But as far as comparing funeral sizes, when I first saw this, I thought this was a Trump True Social post. That's because he loves to talk about MLK and crowd sizes, or at least he used to. He don't so much anymore. But what is this association with JFK and MLK and Charlie Kirk about? That's an interesting threesome.
Pause, Granddad.
Because in the case of JFK and MLK, we've been looking suspiciously at the CIA. And we have now evidence which implicates three-letter agencies in terrorizing both of them in the days before their death and helping their transition.
You don't find that suspicious?
Is that where y'all want to go with this? Is that, because that's an associate, we can rock with that. If y'all put JFK and MLK out there, y'all did that. So if y'all want to have that discussion, we can live there. I just don't know how it's going to land with the administration, because in an instance like that, you would, of course, have people running to the cameras to assert the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk. That did happen now, didn't it? Yeah, J.D. Vance and Trump.
You know, I can't help but think that they tried to silence my friend Charlie Kirk. They tried to silence our dear friend Charlie Kirk. And tonight, we speak with Charlie and for Charlie louder than ever.
Less than 2 weeks ago, our country was robbed of one of the brightest lights of our times, a giant of his generation, and above all, a devoted husband, father, son, Christian, and patriot. Charles James Kirk was heinously murdered by a radicalized, cold-blooded monster for speaking the truth that was in his heart.
That's probably just a coincidence. You know what I mean? That's gotta be a coincidence. You know, I mean, it's not like they ran to the cameras before there was even a suspect and tried to prosecute a case. So, you know, what are you going to do with that? Hashtag we are Charlie Kirk, murdered for being white, murdered for being right. Say murdered for being white, murdered for being white. Let me see that Tyler Robinson picture again. Now these glasses, because those glasses take away melanin. You know what I mean? So hold on, let me look at that Tyler Robinson. Huh. Must have some Creole in his family or something like that. Their hero versus our hero with a split screen of George Floyd. Then you got 30 people killed, 2,000 people injured, 10,000 plus riots and protests. Did George Floyd do all that? George Floyd killed 30 people? Is that? Oh, they must be talking about the aftermath. Is that the aftermath of is that what that is? Huh. Now do January 6th. They probably didn't have any more room in the thing. That's probably what that is. George Floyd as their hero. That's interesting. I don't think you know any of them. Apparently you don't know any of them. Nobody talks about the hero worship of George Floyd like the right. I'm starting to think they're a little jealous. You know what I mean? I'm starting to. Nobody lifts him up on the left side like the right. Literally nobody. But then again, I guess I have to take some accountability myself, because I definitely used to listen to a lot of George Floyd podcasts back in the day. Yeah, I used to listen to his podcast. I used to watch his whole YouTube show. And, you know, he really changed my ideology on a lot of things, you know, through his speech and reflected how I feel about particular groups of individuals. George Floyd definitely did that for me. So I can see why they should why you would lift him up as their hero. That does make some sense.
We got more news about Charlie Kirk. They come out and says, the guy who does the autopsy says, there was no exit wound from a 30-06 bullet. It goes in the flesh of his neck right here. And his bones were so dense that, his words, it was like he was Superman and it stopped the bullet.
Nah, I don't believe that. Nah, I don't believe that. No, because I saw the whole thing with construction worker Jesus from Arizona State. I saw that one, and I saw the whole thing with MLK and RFK and George Floyd and murdered for being white. But ain't no way they talking about Superman. I don't. They not that crazy.
A few moments later.
Up, here comes Fox News. Surgeon says Charlie Kirk's body stopped bullet, an absolute miracle that saved others, according to Turning Point USA. And here goes Fox News with a whole article about it. Well, okay. I didn't take Fox News into consideration. When I said they can't, not that crazy, I tend to not think of Fox News, but obviously when I say something like that, I should pretty much exclusively think of Fox News. That is my bad.
Guys, 30-06 bullets are incredibly powerful. They're for things like moose hunting. I hunt deer with them because I feel like it's more ethical. They go through trees sometimes. They'll go through like 16 inches of ballistic gel. But yet, the flesh of his neck right here to the jugular, which was supposedly from straight on, somehow managed to stop the bullet. His bones were so strong that it stopped a 30-06 from exiting out the back, because they said, had it not have stopped it, the people behind him probably would have been dead too, whoever was standing behind him. Do they take us as idiots? It's mind-blowing how they think that we're so dumb to not understand that this is all fake. It's all a lie. They are lying to us. A 30-06 probably would have blown Charlie's head off. That gun did not shoot Charlie Kirk.
Well, if you think about it, because Superman was his weakness was kryptonite, which was green, and then today's kryptonite would be trees. You know what I mean? It would be the sticks and stems, the sticky icky. And Charlie was trying to get you to walk a straight path away from, all of the temptations of the flesh. So really, the Superman thing, it kind of holds in that regard.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Wait, but didn't Clark Kent's black friend on Smallville end up on the hub? No, I'm pretty sure he did end up on the hub. Matter of fact, I think you've watched that multiple times. So that doesn't seem very Christian. I'm just saying. And here go the conspiracy theories. At what point does it become mathematically impossible? The White House posts Superman. Tyler Robinson spotted with a Superman poster behind him. The surgeon who worked on Charlie Kirk just said he's like the Man of Steel. Superman is known as the Man of Steel. I mean, also, Shaq and Dwight Howard also went by the Man of Steel. Do they have any association with this at all? And here goes Candace Owens being tagged. Kal-El and Jor-El were created by Siegel and Schuster. Will Candace Owens pick up on that? Oh, it looks like the creator of those characters were Jewish. Ah, yes, that is right. Nothing says unity like the fact that the creators were Jewish forces you to tag one of the biggest creators on the right, because we're trying to perpetrate that he's the Man of Steel. And you were his friend that goes at Jewish people. So that is what we got. That's unity. That is pretty much unity. That is Justice League level unity right there.
The final interview with Ben Shapiro the day before he died. He says, is the media truly being honest about what's going on with Israel? He said, they've lied about all this other stuff. Can we be sure that the media is even honest. And guess what Ben Shapiro does? His eyebrows go. He like snarled almost like in disgust. A lot of people were joking. That's the moment that it was decided that Charlie was no more. Yes, he said that to Ben Shapiro. No, I don't like Ben Shapiro. So, and then after his death, if I'm not mistaken, this was like the first public address that Ben Shapiro gives. He says, "Don't worry, Charlie. I'm going to step in and I'll take over Turning Point USA for you. I'm going to go to these colleges. I'm going to speak to them." We don't want you there, Ben. Why would he say this? For one, because now he can really bring some Jewish ideology in there. He's a Jew. He loves Israel more than anybody. Notice how he didn't like Trump at all. He was a never Trumper up until Trump was bought out by the Jews and by Israel. Big surprise. And plus, with this being Israel that killed Charlie, guess who's not scared of being killed by Israel? Ben Shapiro. Like, that's like their number one guy. He is part of them. He is a Jew. Charlie was a Christian. This is a Jew. I hate to mention it to you. Jews don't like Christians. If you haven't figured that one out yet, go back and watch some other podcast episodes of mine. They don't like you. They will spit on you if you go there and you show them a cross. They think Jesus is burning in hell and human crap. They don't like Christians. They tolerate them. They use them, and us, I should say, but they don't use me, but they use Christians, but they don't like them. So the second that Charlie steps out of line, they say, "Oh, we're going to get done with this." Not to mention, these other people that are paid off by Israel, do you not think this sets a precedent for them? Oh, shoot, I better not speak out now. My God, the second he started doing it, because he's taking a lot of money. I think it was $40 billion from Israeli donors. These other people don't want to lose their life.
Now, I can tell you one thing, what both Jesus and Superman and Charlie Kirk, the trilogy, what they definitely would have wanted was peace. That is one thing that they advocated for. Elon Musk, they murdered our emissary of peace in cold blood. Message received. Wow. He has really been beating the drum for violence and social upheaval pretty much since the day this happened. Now, you got to consider who it benefits, something that would cost so many people so much, and how you would characterize a person that would amplify and thrust us further towards violent social upheaval for his own personal and financial gain. Because that much is pretty clear.
Clear as crystal.
I can tell you this, Elon Musk, they not going to put you with long hair Jesus. Nah, he not going to walk you around draped in a flag or nothing. I mean, you might be draped in a flag, but it won't be an American one.
You're gonna cry in the car.
Outgoing NYC Cardinal Dolan faces unprecedented Catholic backlash after comparing Kirk to St. Paul. Pope Leo stays measured while Dolan's likely successor, Bishop Daniel Flores, prepares to bring a very different voice to New York. Cardinal Timothy Dolan shocked many Catholics when he hailed the late Charlie Kirk as a modern-day St. Paul on national television this week. The New York Archbishop praised Kirk, a 31-year-old conservative activist, as a missionary, an evangelist, and a hero. A modern-day St. Paul. Well, I guess I have to go consult St. Paul's words and see if Charlie Kirk really reflects St. Paul's spirit.
Blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today. Data shows they were actually better in the 1940s.
Let's get loud for Kyle Rittenhouse.
I'm also going to offer some context and some nuance about the death of George Floyd that no one dares to say out loud, which is that this guy was a scumbag.
Remember what BLM stands for? Burn, loot, and murder.
Now, does that mean it deserves to die? That's two totally different things. Of course not.
Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact.
There's no such thing as white privilege or racism. So
Kirk describes King as, quote, a bad guy. It's true. We celebrate the Civil Rights Act more than the American founding. The country made a mistake when it passed the Civil Rights Act. Also true.
Wow. St. Paul sounds different than I remembered. Yeah, I don't recall St. Paul talking like that, but I guess it has been a minute. Yeah, it has been a minute. Cardinal Mueller calls Charlie Kirk a martyr for Christ, rebukes satanic celebration of death. German Catholic Cardinal Gerhard Ludwig Mueller referred to Charlie Kirk as a martyr for Jesus Christ and condemned the satanic celebration of his death by some detractors in an interview published 1 week after the assassination. From a supernatural perspective, Kirk died not as a victim of political assassination, but as a martyr for Jesus Christ, not in the sense of those who are canonized, but as one who bore witness, from the Greek martyros, through his life. How do you define celebration, the satanic celebration? And I have to re-ask a question that I placed earlier in this video. Who does his death help? So let's define celebration. Satanic celebration, as you framed it. Oh, here we go. The global far right is making Charlie Kirk a martyr. From Germany to South Africa to Great Britain to Japan, ultra-nationalist movements have seized on his death. After last week's murder of Maga influencer Charlie Kirk, hundreds of people gathered in front of Berlin's American embassy to honor him with a candlelight vigil, at least one of them in a red Maga hat. The group included several members of Germany's far-right AfD party, including Beatrix von Storch, its deputy parliamentary leader. Von Storch told the crowd that Kirk's compass was God and that it was on them to carry his work forward. On Facebook, she shared a photograph of Kirk overlaid with the words in German, "The death of Charlie Kirk is a turning point in our fight for civilization." Afterwards, the AfD uploaded a video of the rally to YouTube, helpfully dubbed into English, which offered praise for Kirk's fight against mass migration and left-wing ideology. Hey, Cardinal Mueller, they making it political. Yeah. So everything you just said about not a political assassination, about Jesus Christ, head down to the embassy. Across the world, and especially in the European Union, far-right parties are using the murder of Kirk as a recruitment tool, a rallying cry, and a symbol of everything they claim to be fighting against. As The Guardian pointed out, few far-right leaders outside the United States had ever used Kirk's name before his death, but now he's on all their lips, memorialized as a martyr, and used as a potent and highly effective way to unite their bases. Far-right leaders like Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and Hungary's Viktor Orban have expressed mourning and outrage over the killing, with Orban explicitly blaming the hate-mongering left. Hey, Cardinal Mueller, never mind. You don't have to go to the embassy because you got Italy and Hungary. It's really, just sit home and watch it. It's all over. Yeah. The irony here is hard to ignore. Ultra-nationalist groups that often decry globalization are adopting an international message based on American politics. Well, if you think that's ironic, imagine weaponizing your outrage at Charlie Kirk being silenced to silence others. Because that's a thing that's happening.
I heard the news about Charlie Kirk yesterday evening before I went to bed. And I couldn't sleep this night. I've been praying and thinking the whole night. And I felt this is so profound what is happening. It is truly a turning point for many people and for America that Charlie Kirk, as one of the first one, become a martyr for Christ on a public stage. Because this is not because of politics he laid down his life. It was truly because of Christ. And we need to know what is happening right now. First, I want to tell about my story if you don't know me. My name is Tom Søndergaard. I came to America with a message that persecution are coming to America. Wake up, persecution are coming to America. And I was speaking that message, but then I was put in jail, accused of things I did not do. And I spent more than a year in jail, locked up. I put some pictures in America. The land of the free, home of the brave. I was put in jail. My case went to the Congress where Clay Higgins spoke about me. They spent more than 400 hours on my case. And in the Congress, he said that I was persecuted and targeted because I'm evangelical Christian minister.
Clay Higgins? Haitian Clay Higgins? This Clay Higgins?
There's racist, and then there's Clay Higgins. You know you racist when the Republican Party, the party that's supported by all the hate groups, tells you that you got to take down your racist tweet. That dude probably wrote that racist tweet while he was wearing a Klan robe and roasting marshmallows next to a burning cross. That tweet was so racist, David Duke, who Clay Higgins voted for, by the way, said, hey man, can we dial back the racism? In that tweet, he called Haitians thugs, said they were wild, brought in voodoo. He said their country was the nastiest in the Western Hemisphere. Then went in to say if they had half a mind that they would get out of the country. Why do they got to get out of the country? They here legally. They contributing to society in this country, Clay. Why do they have to leave? What is it about them that makes you think that they got to leave? Yeah, we already know what it is. He wrote that because Haitians have filed charges against the Orange Dude and JD Vance for the threats that have been put on their lives based off the lies from the Orange Dude and JD Vance. He wrote that tweet, by the way, after knowing that the lie about eating pets was a lie. After JD Vance admitted that it was a lie. After the multiple bomb threats to Haitians in Springfield. After the threats to their lives and the lives of children. He tweeted that after all of that. Tell me what kind of person does that, especially a person who claims to be either a Christian or evangelical, something religious. What part of the Bible says that you can talk about other human beings like that, especially based off of a lie? And lastly, if you are a black or brown supporter of the Orange Dude, do you really think that his supporters can differentiate between Haitians and you? I don't think they can.
Censorship, Clay Higgins? So he was a supporter of your work. He's your champion. Now you told me everything I need to know about your persecution as a Christian. You have told me a whole lot by virtue of Clay Higgins being your champion.
This is egregious work. This is nasty, egregious work.
But at the end of the day, you have to, Erika Kirk did what? A pageant with Trump in the... I mean, that's it. But you know what? That's exactly, they were giving out scholarships. That's what long-haired Jesus would have wanted. You know what I mean? Long-haired Jesus, you know, that's why the tear came down, because he was happy that Erika had won the pageant. So that's what that's about. Ooh, boy. So the sanctification and martyrdom of Charlie Kirk has reached its absolute zenith. And I find it to be, not only with all of the blatant hypocrisies that we've seen up to this point and how his message and legacy is being carried forward from the right in their own words, no better example than this. Massive grinder outage reports coincide with the Charlie Kirk memorial service in Arizona. Right-wing personality Charlie Kirk's memorial service took place in Glendale on Sunday, and surely by complete coincidence, Grindr experienced outages in the area around the same time. Reports claim that tens of thousands of people attended the memorial for the controversial podcaster, with high-level Maga politicians and other public figures flying in from across the country to attend. Republicans were quick to try and pin Kirk's killing on trans people and trans ideology before a suspect was even in custody, and Kirk himself had made plenty of negative remarks about the LGBTQ plus community during his life. In completely unrelated news, there were over 168 reports of Grindr outages on Sunday evening, a staggering increase from the baseline number of 2. A heat map showed a large concentration of those problems taking place in the Glendale area. The outages have continued through Monday morning, at one point reaching over 200 reports. Well, I mean, honestly, MLK, at his funeral, they had Grindr outages as well. And JFK's funeral, they had Grindr outages. And Charlie Kirk's funeral had more Grindr outages than they did, just because of the volume of people. So, plus he would have wanted it shut down. He would have wanted it shut. He's still working. He's still working after everything that he said about, he would have wanted it shut down. And there you have it. Now that's what we're going with. Put that out. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. You know what? September was a month to remember. The highest views we've seen all year. I know. September. Do you remember when it first started? September. Put up on the bed. Huh? Do I know the lyrics? I don't even think they know the lyrics. Wrong. And they told me September was a low month for YouTube. Kids are going back to school. Parents are getting back into the swing of work. Not on my channel. It's for that reason I'm always going to remember September. Huh. My anniversary was in September. It was, wasn't it? I'm gonna have to get rid of this section. As I was saying, September, what a beautiful time for love. It's also a beautiful time for merch, for that special someone in your life. I have seen your questions about the merch link, and it is up at ReeseWaters.com. However, we are undergoing some changes as we're in the process of getting it linked directly to the YouTube. So pretty soon you'll be able to see the merch right there on my page. So be on the lookout for that. And while we're talking merch, I want to send a shout out to Tracy, who sent us this dope photo and her discouraged, depleted, but never defeated t-shirt. And I also want to give a quick shout out and a happy birthday to Melva and to her daughter, as well as my man Dwight and Daryl over at the barbershop. And yeah, you can tell I just came from the barbershop because I'm shooting during the daytime. Yeah. I want you to see that, just all the crisp I want you to see, because when I get fuzzy, I start shooting at night. And then once I pass 2 weeks, I just become a faceless channel.